Over 80 million people have got infected with COVID-19 since the start of the outbreak, accounting for 1% of the world population, the World Health Organization reports. On Christmas Day, over 655,000 new infections were reported. The global death toll is closing in on 1.8 million. Most infections are reported in the United States, Europe, and South Asia. On December 26th, on the second day of Christmas, Romanian Orthodox and Eastern Catholic Christians celebrated the Synexis of the Most Holy Mother of God, a Christian holiday honoring Mary, Mother of Jesus Christ. Roman Catholics in Romania celebrated Saint Stephen, the first Christian martyr. Due to the threat of the coronavirus, Pope Francis on Saturday delivered the Angelus traditional prayer via a video link from the library of the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican. Italy is in lockdown during the Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Due to the restrictions in place, the Christian faithful could not gather in St. Peter's Square to attend the traditional Mass, which has been moved to the Apostolic Palace. On Friday, observing the recently adopted restrictions, Pope Francis gave his Urbi et Orbi blessing during an online transmission broadcast from the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican. The Pope spoke of the fraternity of the world's nations, urging them to share the vaccines developed to combat the COVID-19 virus. And that was the news on Radio Romania International.
Important international events of the year 2020. I'm your host, Elena Enate. The year of the pandemic. It is impossible to define it differently. A year like no other in history. The dimension of the disaster could have hardly been imagined on the last day of 2019, when Chinese authorities announced 27 cases of viral pneumonia of unknown origin in the central city of Wuhan. In a matter of days, the novel coronavirus was identified by specialists, and a few days later, the first death from it was reported. Cases of infections were soon reported in other Asian countries, in Europe and the United States. In no time, the number of infections would be expressed in hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions and tens of millions, while millions of people lost their lives. In 12 months, the new virus paralyzed national economies, devastated entire communities, and kept at home nearly 4 billion people. 2020 has changed the world in a way that no other year after the Second World War would, according to France Press. This is a pandemic experience that's unique in the lifetime of every single person on Earth, said Stan Burnett, infectious disease epidemiologist and dean of Yale School of Public Health. Hardly any of us haven't been touched by it. The almost generalized medical crisis and the tragic loss of lives overlapped with an economic and social crisis generated by the same pandemic. Companies were closed, the same as schools, high schools, and universities. Sports competitions have been cancelled. Civil air traffic was suspended, and stores, bars,